Become a Ko-Fi member today to access my Ko-Fi exclusive Discord server for you guys to interact and engage with my content before my newest videos go public by granting access to exclusive content and many more. Link in description if you guys are interested. With that being said, let's start with the video. 2004. What a good years to be alive. Despite the fact I was bloody 2 years old, still watching fucking Thomas the Tank Engine at the time. But I can really appreciate some of the things that I was exposed to during that time period. Like the release of the Nintendo DS, Sony PSP, which is my favorite current comfort handheld console, that kind of explains my other absence from YouTube from modding purposes. But anyways, Foster's Home for Imaginary Friends, the Teacher's Pet movie, the SpongeBob movie, and especially Yu-Gi-Oh! The movie, aka us Yu-Gi-Oh! Fans know as Yu-Gi-Oh! The Pyramid of Light. From the time of me making this video, well, this video has been uploaded on this date, which is August 13th of 2024, which is ironic because today is the day that Yu-Gi-Oh! The Pyramid of Light movie has been released on August 13th of 2004, which is 20 freaking years ago, which is insane. I really do feel old considering the fact I've been introduced to the film in 2012 or late 2011, I think. Oh, when I was first introduced to Yu-Gi-Oh! As a whole, when Yu-Gi-Oh! Zexal was still airing along with the original back-to-back episodes on Saturday mornings or Vortex, of how I catch those episodes, and when I was exposed to the card game thanks to my friends that was playing at recess in the 5th grade. But one day I was at the car dealership with my mom, waiting for her car to getting fixed, then sat at the lobby, but suddenly was scrolling on Netflix, deciding of what to watch on there, which I found was the Yu-Gi-Oh! Pyramid of Light movie at the time when it was still on Netflix before Netflix took it off for whatever reason. But still have the original series, but only one season of the show was on there when they used to have seasons 1 and 3 on there, but removed season 3 of the original along with Arc 5 and Zexal's seasons 1 and 2. I swear, Netflix is very unpredictable sometimes. But anyways, after watching the movie, I went and checked the reviews for the movie. It's like something I like to do just to see a movie or show that I tend to see what other thought of the movie. But when I checked the score, I gotta say I was extremely surprised at the review and score that it has received. When I looked it up on Rotten Tomatoes, it had like a 49 audience score and a 6% tomato meter on Rotten Tomatoes, and a 5 out of 10 on IMDb. Like, what? This movie cannot be that bad, right? And that's why I'm here to discuss the very first Yu-Gi-Oh! Movie that ever came to the United States, aka Yu-Gi-Oh! Pyramid of Light. But before I begin talking about the video itself, I like to show off some Yu-Gi-Oh! Pyramid of Light merch that I own, which is my VHS copy of the film and the CD of the OST from the movie itself, which will get its own segment in this video. In 2004 of the movie's premiere, in each ticket purchase, it comes with a booster pack with one card and an advertisement for the Yu-Gi-Oh! Movie manga that was released in fall of 2004 prior from the movie releasing in the summer, which I will talk about shortly. The movie's booster packs contains with cards like Watapon, Blue Eye Shining Dragon, Sorcerer of Dark Magic, and lastly, Pyramid of Light, the card, not the movie. For me, from the packs that I have opened, that I've purchased from eBay to showcase of how opening the packs looks like on camera based from my point of view to see the cards that I've pulled. But lucky for me, I pulled Blue Eyes Shining Dragon and Sorcerer of Dark Magic, and thank God that I didn't pull that damn Cream Puff.
Got this right now. You're playing a cream puff.
But another piece of merch from the Pyramid of Light movie, along with the 20th anniversary Blu-ray Steelbook that I have pre-ordered on Amazon, that was expected to previously arrive on April 20th, but got postponed it to September 10th. Like, that's when school starts. Like, come on, Amazon, get your shit together. Anywho, the other piece of merch, which is the Yu-Gi-Oh! The movie manga I was talking about earlier, which is basically the entire movie in comic book form, with speech bubbles, text and color than your average Japanese manga, but with an manga cover to be more of like a manga that's actually a comic book looking style, but it's the entire movie is like shot for shot telling from the movie itself, which I never really heard about the manga when searching for the Yu-Gi-Oh! Movie stuff, but until I found in Yu-Gi-Oh! GX Scholastic Kids book I used to read alongside with the Bone series, Legends, Naruto, and etc. From what I've remembered back in middle school. So the manga for the Yu-Gi-Oh! Movie from fall of 2004, after the actual film to release in summer 2004, I guess it's just to promote the book because of how popular the film was at the time. Just to sell books at the Scholastic Book Fair, I assume. Last but not least, the Yu-Gi-Oh! The Movie DVD. With this DVD, it's quite unique to me that I wish that most DVDs do nowadays that don't really do now. Because of the whole streaming bullshit, sure, it seems convenient and right there, but it can be taken away from you at any time. And don't get me started with video games digitally. I'm looking at you, the PS5 Pro, $700 my ass. Anyways, I miss that DVDs used to have special features and little animations booting up whenever you're trying to go to the scene selections, special features, and etc. Whenever you're trying to click on a certain section on the DVD displayed, like play movie, special features like the trailer for the movie, 2 music videos. When I first saw that as the special features, I thought there was an actual Yu-Gi-Oh! Music video rap or R&B type, like that one Rugrats music video, and that one cringy Rocko's Modern Life do the Wallaby dance you saw on like Nick Splat at the time, if you guys remember that. But no, it's basically an AMV, but it was made for selling and promoting the Yu-Gi-Oh! Movie soundtrack, which is alright, I guess. And finally, there was the Yu-Gi-Oh! The Movie Monster Challenge. It's basically a mini game that you have to find the monsters from the movie, including Anubis, the main villain. You're supposed to remember the monsters that displayed by finding the dual monsters in order. If you guess wrong, you lose a point each round. But if you get Anubis, you automatically lose the challenge. I never won, so I thought it was kind of neat at the time. But with me, I'll stick with my Duel Links and my Yu-Gi-Oh! Tag Force games for the PSP. Thank you very much. Within talking about the film, it will contain spoilers. Well, with that being said, let's begin discussing the Yu-Gi-Oh! Pyramid of Light movie.
Oh boy, I can't wait to watch the Yu-Gi-Oh! Movie. Let's pop it in. Oh yeah, just like 20 years ago. Hey, Hendog. Whoa. Wait, hold up. You're watching the Yu-Gi-Oh! Movie? Holy crap, can I watch? Nah, dude. Like, first of all, you startled me without even knocking my door. And secondly, I'm watching this movie in order to do a review right now. Maybe some other time or something. Oh, darn. Well, after you finished with your Yu-Gi-Oh! Pyramid of Light movie review, I was wondering, Hendog, if you wanna... Right, Holmes? You good? Oh no. Michelle Obama, get down!
The movie starts off telling an introduction of how ancient Egypt 5,000 years in the intro in the Yu-Gi-Oh series, both English and Japanese dub of the original Yu-Gi-Oh series, but never represented or gone deeper within the first episode, like Season 0 story, how even the original story in the original Yu-Gi-Oh manga from 1996 of how it was touched upon, but glad in this movie that they did a pretty damn good job with it, but which in the original show did the story justice from the manga. But then again, the series was card game focused and aimed at a younger audience at the time, which I understand, but at least has some elements to balance it to make it an overall entertaining series, to start a great franchise that I love and a huge fan of to this day. The story basically takes place after the events of the Battle City arc, and especially that Noah arc, aka the Virtual World arc, which is my least favorite season in the entirety of the original Yu-Gi-Oh series, for numerous reasons. I don't think it's the video for that for me to go on a 44-minute tangent of how I hate it so much. There's some things I like about it, not gonna lie. Yo, Seto Kaiba got the bunnies, dog.
Seto Kaiba died.
I guess you can say it exists upon itself and dragged on, besides being a part during the Battle City tournament that was still going on, but whatever. From the beginning of when Yugi was trying to assemble the Millennium Puzzle, there's archaeologists from Egypt exploring to an ancient Egyptian tomb. After Yugi completes the puzzle that lets them in to be trapped inside of the tomb, being collapsed from the inside, that so happens to awaken the spirit of Anubis. Along with dual monsters popping out of the puzzle while Yugi turns into a Tem, once the puzzle lit up by banishing the monsters' spirits that came out of the puzzle, then Yugi turned back to his original form like nothing really happened. But later on, Seto Kaiba was trying to find a way of defeating Yugi. After his loss from Battle City in the very first episode of the show, Seto Kaiba took his Blue Eyes White Dragon Jet, which is the most memeable moments from the movie, by the way, by visiting Pegasus just to duel him in order to get a card to stop Yugi's Egyptian god cards, by willing to give up his own 3 Blue Eyes White Dragon cards to Pegasus if he loses. After defeating Pegasus, Kaiba has obtained the Pyramid of Life card, even though Pegasus wasn't even aware of the fact that the card was in his deck to begin with. But the spirit of Anubis placed it on there while Pegasus was sleeping. Meanwhile, Yugi and Anzu were running from the ops. Yes! Yes indeed! I wrote that into the script! Anywho, we're trying to duel Yugi just for being Battle City champion. So they ran inside of a museum. That so happens that Yugi's grandpa being there at the exhibit, checking out information about Anubis. Yugi has noticed that the light blue pyramid display that coincidentally resembles Yugi's Millennium Puzzle, but with a red glow coming out of the eye. After Yugi's grandpa reads some of the ancient texts from the tomb of Anubis, then a beam of light shines at them from the tomb. Then Yugi had a vision that foreshadows something that has something to do with Seto Kaiba and Anubis, Then Yugi woke up from what just happened a moment ago, and the tomb of Anubis has been stolen from the museum along with the blue light pyramid. But Yugi head to Kaiba's Kaiba Dome. This is what I'm going to call it because they really never specified that location in the movie itself. Anywho, Yugi went to the Kaiba Dome. So it's up to Atem in order to duel Anubis and banish him once and for all. So my overall thoughts about the film. I'm going to be extremely blunt here and just say that the movie was alright. As a kid, I thought it was a great and fantastic movie, but now I think it was just simply a decent film, but not anything spectacular. Besides the fact the movie was trying so hard of raising the stakes, especially in the promos and trailers I've seen on YouTube in 240 quality. By looking at them, it's very nostalgic to look at. It reminds me of that time period in that era to me. But taking the nostalgia goggles off by watching the movie, it's an overall okay Yu-Gi-Oh movie to me. Let's start with the positives. The Pyramid of Light is like the first in the series, well, especially in the West, that had the actual training cards to actually has text and the name of the monster show up. That later includes that in other Yu-Gi-Oh films as well moving forward. But if you watch the dub version of any Yu-Gi-Oh series, it only shows the monster art, the attack points, and defense points, which kind of confused me as a kid. But now that I'm older, I'm sort of kind of realized that due to deadlines and trying to put the product out as soon as possible, which is understandable from a business decision. Imagine using the text from the card name in each monster spell or trap could be a lot. I think it makes sense if the monsters can play the card, could explain the effects by saying the name of the monsters that they summon, and not to mention the life points from the Japanese version to the English displayed on screen. I kind of find the duels in the movie to be fine for what it is. Pretty standard, but plays out just like the anime as expected to, especially for a film that's based off the anime of how it's supposed to be, obviously. But I really like the semi-duels, with Pegasus and Seto Kaiba, and especially when Joey got ejected by the Fairy Lily. That are both some funny moments that doesn't feel kind of forced or expand the runtime if you count the Warner Brothers jokes in the movie.
That's all, folks.
That's all, folks.
Which is ironic that this Yu-Gi-Oh movie was published by Warner Brothers themselves. That begs me the question as of why Cartoon Network, or hell, even HBO Max doesn't appear on a streaming service, and on Cartoon Network Acne Night. Oh, yeah. But still, at least air it on your channel besides me watching it on Peacock of all services. But I digress though. My issues with the Pyramid of Light movie for me, that it borderlines goes into the pacing of it for me, of how everything doesn't happen naturally in some scenes. For example, when Yugi was trying to get to Seto Kaiba after having that one flashback in the museum. I just love how coincidentally Mokuba pulled up in a limo outside of the museum when Yugi left to warn Kaiba. Which begs me the question of how in the everlasting shits did he even knew that Yugi was there? Which raises more questions as of how did he knew? Hell, Kaiba probably installs video cameras in order to spy on Yugi, like on some Yandere type shit. Now that I mention it, it low-key sounds like of what Kaiba would do, not gonna lie. I kinda hate the fact that this movie takes place between the Battle City and Virtual World arc, Besides just being a standalone movie, just in case if newcomers decide of getting into it, they might get confused if they want to start with the movie before watching the series or something. It's just kind of my nitpick on it, in my opinion at least. In conclusion, Yu-Gi-Oh! The Pyramid of Light movie from 20 years ago was just an alright movie. Me personally think that the movie was trying to live up to the hype from the peak Yu-Gi-Oh! When it was extremely popular by rivaling Pokemon at the time, which pays me to say as a Yu-Gi-Oh! Fan. I think that the Pokemon movie film from 1999 is better than Pyramid of Light. In the Pokemon movie, it was really dark with an engaging story. Hell, even the stakes were high, not to mention Ash fucking dies. That shit broke me, considering the fact I'm not even a Pokemon fan. Pyramid of Light was wasted potential at the time. That it should have taken the advantage of the whole Anubis plotline into something interesting. Besides letting him appear 20 minutes of the movie's ending. Which doesn't make any sense to me at all. They kind of dropped the ball with this one. Nevertheless, I kind of enjoy it for what it was. It is very watchable in today's standards of the whole memes from the film I've seen online. If you want to watch a better Yu-Gi-Oh! Movie that is a true love letter to the original series, which is Dark Side Dimensions, that I will talk about in the future. It's a sequel to the original show and ending and expanding on the characters and having their own arcs completed, which is pretty satisfying and rewarding as a fan who watched the original series. And newcomers can chime in within the story and maybe wants to watch the original show or manga just to be invested one day if they choose to. Overall, I think I would give Pyramid of Light a 6 out of 10. As for being an alright attempt for a Yu-Gi-Oh! Movie for their first supposedly big Yu-Gi-Oh! Film ever, not gonna lie, those trailers and promotion for it seems to be like a big deal at the time. Not to mention, the movie even got a fucking Burger King ad at one point. I didn't even realize that while writing the scripts of how popular this movie was. But unfortunately, the movie bombed in the box office, grossing $90 million in the box office from the United States and Canada, and they're worldwide of $29 million, while the budget estimate is $20 million, which makes it a box office bomb, sadly. Despite it being a box office bomb in 2004, it even got a re-release in 2018 of March 11 to the 12th by Fandom Events and 4K Media, formerly as 4Kids Entertainment, deciding to release it by remastering it at this event, while with a sneak peek of the new Yu-Gi-Oh! Series at the time, Yu-Gi-Oh! Frames, which sucks because this was the only way of watching the dub version, while Frames never aired on TV like Nicktoons or something, or like they did with Duel Monsters, Zexal, and Arc 5. That's just me. Instead, it was only aired on Teletoon. Us dub watchers literally have to wait until 2021 for Yu-Gi-Oh! Frames to air exclusively on Pluto TV to launch their new Yu-Gi-Oh! Channel on there, so everyone can watch episodes of Yu-Gi-Oh! For free. Well, guys, I'm done talking about Yu-Gi-Oh! The Pyramid of Light. Wait, hold on. Someone's calling me. Hello? Huh? I forgot to talk about the Yu-Gi-Oh! Movie soundtrack that I forgot to go over last time. Oh, thank you so much, no caller ID stranger. the Yu-Gi-Oh! Pyramid of Light movie soundtrack CD. I feel like literally no one ever brings it up. Besides that one tweet that got some attraction, that's really about it. I have never gone over a movie, song, soundtrack, or any albums in general on this channel, but I'll try my best to do so. Because this is entirely new for me, and this is the reason why that this video that you're watching right now took too long to make. And then I'll rank the songs in order from this CD track, excluding the extended theme song from the actual show. I don't count that because it's the theme song, not an actual song, if that makes sense. This is entirely my opinion of what I think is good or bad based off my music taste. But with that being said, let's begin. Oh shit. Right off the bat, this is an absolute fucking banger right here. This is the first song to play in the film when Seto Kaiba was riding that Blue Eyes White Dragon jet. That really matched with the scene so perfectly. But with the Japanese version was alright, but plays out just like the Japanese version of the anime structure of any episode you watch. But with the English dub, carried with that song that adds a lot of personality to that scene by making it memorable. That feels like Yu-Gi-Oh to me. This song reminds me of the Dragon Ball Z Kai opening in a way, and somewhat from the song that would have played during the Sonic the Hedgehog Super Smash Bros. Brawl review, or from a Shadow the Hedgehog AMV I see on YouTube or something. Well, that's just me. I automatically given it a 10 out of 10 in my ranking. And off to the next song. For the People by Black Eyed Peas? The Black Eyed Peas in the Yu-Gi-Oh soundtrack? Huh? Don't get me wrong, I like me some Black Eyed Peas songs, but what the fuck do they know about Yu-Gi-Oh? But seriously though, what is Black Eyed Peas of all music artists doing on a movie soundtrack for Yu-Gi-Oh all things? Whenever I look up the song up on YouTube, it takes me to the song that has the Black Eyed Peas song For the People on the original Elephant album cover. So it turns out this extended edition to the Elephant album of December 8th of 2023, which is last year by the way, on all digital platforms? Okay. As the 18th song of the Elephant extended edition. I kind of have this theory for the People song that was included for the Yu-Gi-Oh soundtrack. It was supposed to be in the original Elephant album in 2003, but got delayed for some reason. But it was released on August 10th of the same year of the Pyramid of Light movie, 3 days before the Yu-Gi-Oh the movie hit theaters. Coincidentally, I guess it happens to be confirmed that Black Eyed Peas are Yu-Gi-Oh fans, apparently. I was extremely confused of him, of all people, made a song for the Yu-Gi-Oh soundtrack, which kind of caught me off guard hearing that name on the CD. But overall, the song itself is pretty fine, but kind of catchy. But I wouldn't consider it as my favorite Black Eyed Peas song, but I respect it as a Yu-Gi-Oh song in the album, even though I think it doesn't have anything to do with Yu-Gi-Oh at all. But okay, for me, I would give it a 6 out of 10 because I like it for what it is. Kind of decent flow, but it doesn't scream Yu-Gi-Oh to me whenever I listen to it, in my opinion. It's something I would imagine this song playing in the damn Proud Family episode. If you really think about it, I could imagine the Black Eyed Peas singing with Bobby as a guest appearance or some shit. Life's just a game. We all wanna win. Wow, a banger that surpasses You're Not Me. Don't get me wrong, they both are really good, but One Card Short is such a damn vibe too. I even play this song on repeat whenever I'm at work, it has my fucking adrenaline going haywire. Something tells me this might be the prototype for the Yu-Gi-Oh! GX opening because of the whole use of the guitar in the GX English opening. That really gives off that vibe to me. But on a side note, fun fact about this song, one card short, was playing during the mall scene in the Yu-Gi-Oh! Dark Side Dimensions movie, which I didn't really notice on my first ever watch of the movie until I seen a comment on it, so I can confirm it was true. I feel like saying this just in case that someone didn't catch that hint of reference that no one seems to bring up in conversations until now. I'll give this one card short. But seriously though, I'll give this song a 11 out of 10 as being one of my favorite songs in the soundtrack, cause I'm biased. So yeah, let's begin with the next song on the soundtrack. This song really captures what Yu-Gi-Oh! Is really all about. Implies like friendship, having each other's back, and whenever's evil, they're coming to attack. The lines of it fits Yu-Gi-Oh! Like a damn glove. It's very powerful of the song that goes extremely hard for absolutely no reason whatsoever. It just blows my mind of the fact that the delivery in the song flows so well with the beat that low-key reminds me of the Parappa the Rapper 2 theme whenever you boot up the game for some reason. Well, that's just me. I have nothing else to say about it, but I'll give it a 9 out of 10 in my ranking. This entire song is a whole vibe. I really like the beginning of the song with the whole Egyptian aesthetic and feel to it, especially in Duel Monsters and including the manga that is heavily in focus on Egyptians, pharaohs, and gods. That really gives off the identity for Yu-Gi-Oh! In the early years when it was at its peak, which it still is until this day. This track is so good, and it's a certified hood classic here. Shadow Games is really decent. It would have been cool if it was on Guitar Hero or something, despite the fact I have never played it for myself. This track would have been so perfect if it was a playable track in the game. 8 out of 10 for me in my ranking. Combining rock and roll and R&B rap together, never thought would ever go together in a million years. 4Kids Entertainment and Warner Brothers were really cooking with this one. Me personally think that this is a very solid of a song. I just couldn't really thought that Yu-Gi-Oh! Of all things could really be gangsta like that. Damn, this goes hard for a Yu-Gi-Oh! Movie that revolves around card games. Nothing else I wanted to say about the song itself, but very solid. I wouldn't mind listening to it on repeat. It's easily a 7 out of 10 in my ranking.
I wanna change the world. I wanna find my pearl. I wanna be the one who in the end gets the pretty.
I kinda like it. Not my personal favorite, but I kinda mess with it. But it's catchy. That low-key reminds me of a song that would fit in a Sonic the Hedgehog game OST to me, which is kinda ironic because, fun fact, that the composer for the song, Russell V, for the Sonic X theme song, One Piece, the 4Kids version, and not to mention he did some voices for TMNT 2003. Not only he's a composer, and he's also a voice actor as well. Anyways, this song is pretty good, but solid as well. Same as the last song, I'll give it a 7 out of 10 in my ranking.
Do you wander through this life like a child without a care? Do you...
The Great Pretender. No, not the Freddie Mercury song, even though that song was extremely good to listen to. This is a very underrated song, but low-key made me cry through 17 seconds of the song that kind of hits different like a damn Post Malone song, but with country and made in the early 2000s. I would put this song on repeat if I'm feeling some type of way, not gonna lie. I love how uplifting the song is. It hits every note unexpectedly on my first listen. Not to mention the guitar and the drums and the melody of the song. Like, holy shit. This is a pretty damn good song. Not to mention, this is the first ever Pyramid of Light song to have a music video of one of the songs in the soundtrack that was made by John Frederick himself, which was 17 years ago. Man, I feel old. But this is one of the best songs so far. I'm definitely give this a 10 out of 10 in my ranking. Wow, I didn't really expect a sequel to One Card Short. Like, legit, it sounds exactly the same, like, from the beginning of the song, but with more guitar, if that makes sense. If you compare the two side by side, just to draw your own conclusion. But for me, I really like the song, and the most relatable to me as an adult that goes into the lyrics that implies, I'm stuck inside, I cannot get this done, I wish I could hide. This scene is really such a pain. I just can't see how this any use to me. This works is driving me insane. It's on my mind. I think it's running out of time. This waiting's more than I can take. That clock is slow. It's never gonna let me go. This time I need more than just a break. All I really want is to get away. Which is ironic because this is someone I have to deal with at work, including people sometimes. It can drive me insane. Not only me, but people in general who has a job and goes to school and tries to manage everyday obstacles in life. That can really resonate with people by relating to them in some shape or form, and hits different on a personal level from the lyrics itself. But overall, I really had a great time listening to it. I'm going to give this song a 9 out of 10 in my ranking, even though I do prefer One Card Short even more. But it's still a great song on its own, in my personal opinion. Low-key gives me early 2000s villain AMV vibes by listening to it, and to a damn Beyblade Metal Fight AMV from the early 2010s. When it was at its peak in popularity, legit, I could put this song in a Beyblade battle against Yugioh and Ryuga. It would fit like a glove for some reason. Onto the song itself, it's alright. I'm not really into the heavy metal type, but I know there's like a large majority of people are into that. I guess in my case, it depends on the song itself, of how it's executed. Don't get me wrong, it's not a bad song, but it's not my overall cup of tea. I can definitely see some people liking this, if you're into that type of genre. I'll give this a 6 out of 10 in my ranking. I don't hate it, but I wouldn't listen to it on repeat. It's just a preference for me. Oh guys, yo, they said the thing. They said the title of the damn movie. But in all seriousness though, I really like this song. It slaps and is very catchy. But one thing about this song is the fact that the Pyramid of Light was referenced in the lyrics to be a good thing. But in the film, it was for evil purposes, and especially for Nubis, the villain of Pyramid of Light. I don't know if the writers for the song was even aware if the Pyramid of Light was a good thing or a bad thing. But overall, it's a great song. I'll give it a 8 out of 10 in my ranking. Guys, we have finally made it to the final song on the Yugioh the Pyramid of Light CD OST. The song Believin' by Skibbity? When I tried looking up the artist's name for it, I got no results like most artists in the soundtrack. But my thoughts on the final song is that it's an underrated masterpiece and a perfect song to end off the CD. I shit you not that the song reminds me of the Generator Rex theme song, if you guys remember that show growing up, which was pretty damn good. This really defines what Yu-Gi-Oh is in a way, if that makes sense. I've seen someone upload the Yu-Gi-Oh GX theme with this song. It blends so well together, me assuming that it's supposed to be the original Yu-Gi-Oh GX opening for the English dub. And also, I'm giving this song an 11 out of 10 next to One Card Short and You're Not Me. It's really up there in my ranking. Just to summarize the entire OST for the Yu-Gi-Oh! Pyramid of Light, it's really a treat to listen to, despite the fact that the movie is... You know what? Lou Karibo says it best.
It looks like it's the end of the movie. All in all, it was kinda disappointing. I can't help but feel as if it was all just some cheap cash-in made to promote a bunch of cards.
It's almost like this whole story was thrown together at the last minute.
I agree. So from now on, let's pretend it never happened.
That abridged movie was so much better than the movie itself. But the OST is full of different music genres by trying to make a great and memorable songs for the film, even though one of the artists is Black Eyed fucking Peas, which I still cannot get over despite the fact of how you feel about the movie regardless if it's bad, good, or in the middle. But you cannot deny of how good the soundtrack of its entirety. I don't know if the future of Yu-Gi-Oh! Will ever do anything like this in future Yu-Gi-Oh! Movies, which I really doubt because I don't think that Konami or Warner Brothers, and hell, even 4K Media, would ever take a risk like this after that box office bomb in 2004 surrounding the movie itself. Until this day, it was considered as a guilty pleasure and a hidden gem that most people who in fact grew up with Yu-Gi-Oh! Or played the card game back in the day, when Yu-Gi-Oh! Was at its peak in popularity, rivaling Pokemon as Saturday morning cartoon lineup. As a Yu-Gi-Oh! Fan myself, the OST is the best thing to ever happen to this movie. It really defines the early 2000s in a way of how you view this movie and the soundtrack, in my opinion. So what do you guys think of the Yu-Gi-Oh! Pyramid of Light movie from 20 years later? Did it hold up? Is it an underrated masterpiece? Do you think it's an hour-long episode of the show? You think it's bad? Good? Tell me guys in the comments. With that being said, thank you guys for watching, and remember to stay super swagulicious, guys.
Maybe next time. Wait, what? What is this? Wait, a package for HendogHD? Oh, I guess I gotta give it to him. Hey, Hendog! Hey, Hendog! Wake your ass up! Here's a package for you! Huh? A package? Yeah. You better be ready for our next duel in 2025. I'm out.
Oh yeah, see ya, man. See ya in 2025. And also this package, huh? Let's see what's in this bad boy, I guess. Apparently it's for me. Alright, let's see. Wait a minute. The Yu-Gi-Oh! Movie, the 20th anniversary collection? What?
Like, hold on. This is so good to be true. Also, I can finally watch this in 4K besides using my VHS. Let me pop it in this bad boy. Oh yeah, let's begin. Let's go. HD quality Yu-Gi-Oh movie. Let's go, man. Yo, what is this? This menu looks so bland. Oh man, I need my refund back, dog.